What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another GUNPLA review, and today I'm taking a look at the high-grade Build Divers GBN-Guard Frame. You probably know by now, but I love these absolutely simple yet unique looking grunt suits, so I'm looking forward to this one. Anyway, as always, if you do want one of your own, there's a link down there in the description, and you can get yours from those awesome people at HobbyLink Japan. Now, onto the review. So there is what the high-grade guard frame looks like out of the box and just snapped together. Nothing extra, no panel lines, nothing like that. Before I actually talk about this further, I will mention what this is from, just in case some people, because I know a lot of people may have dropped off from watching Gundam Build Divers. Nani? So this right here is essentially what you could simplify to being a moderator of the GBN world. So you can see that that is reflected in its design. The black on white with that blue face really has that kind of police vibe. And at the same time, this is meant to be just a basic frame, so the black and white really adds to that basicness as well. All in all, this is pretty cool. This right here is based on the frame of the high-grade Build Fighters Leopard Da Vinci, just like the high-grade Jim Jim. And the high-grade Jim Jim is one of, if not my favorite, high-grade grunt suit ever. It would be a toss-up between this and the Greys, but when it comes to old-school standard Fetty style grunts, the Jim Jim is by far the best, in my opinion. And like I mentioned, the guard frame is based on the exact same frame, so that means it has all the same awesome aspects as the Jim Jim, but wrapped up in an even simpler looking package. The point of this kit right here is simple. This is something to build upon. But personally, I think it looks absolutely fantastic in its simplicity. There are a couple of things that stand out to me as not looking that great, and I'll mention them right off the bat. That, of course, is the shoulder joint. These massive white pegs stick out way too far, and it's really hard to get in any kind of natural pose where you don't notice these. The same kind of goes for down at the waist too. You can see right through this, right into the joints, and it looks a little bit spaced too far. But honestly, I could completely gloss over the waist, but those shoulders stand out too much. But besides that, I think this thing looks glorious. We do have some extra head options in here, which I'll mention later on in the accessories. For now, I'll just stick with this one right here. Again, the blue has that real police vibe, especially when compounded with the white and black on here. This really needs some police decals, and it would look so cool. One thing I know that some of you guys don't particularly like are the feet, but I love these things. They're so basic. It really gives it a mass-produced, simplistic feel. And if you take these legs off and stick them on another GUNPLA, what it looks like is an awesome short-term replacement. Basically, like, between battles, they had absolutely no time to fully repair the kit, and this is something you could have on hand just to repair it for the next battle really quickly. This time around, I think Bandai have nailed it for a bare bones basic GUNPLA, and it looks cool. I would love to see more. Here's hoping for Season 2. I would love to see more based on this. Moving on to the accessories now, and here is the guard frame with everything that it comes with. So in here we've got two variants of the head. On top of that, we've also got two extra clear parts for the heads. A bit of a surprise in here, I expected we'd only get one gun, that's all it shows on the box, but we get two, as well as the two long barrels. Let's take a closer look at everything. As for manipulators, we've only got a standard set of holding hands, but these are the same awesome ones we saw with the Jim Jim. These aren't your standard set of hands. These actually have articulation in the wrist, kind of like the build custom hands that are sold separately, so this is already great. As for heads, we've got this one we've looked at already, which looks pretty damn cool, as well as this canopy variant right here. I will make a bit of a minor complaint at this point with the high-grade Jim Jim, which was the same price as this kit at 1,600 yen. We did get the three variants of the head in the box, but in here we get the two variants as well as two alternative clear parts. So that means you can't have all four heads, just swap them out easily. And I will mention that the clear parts, especially the domey shaped one, is really hard to get out once you put it in there. So unless you're careful, you've got a really high chance of breaking or scratching this, so you may want to decide which one you want in there first. Here's what they look like side by side so you can get a decent idea of what they look like before you choose. And honestly, I find it really hard to choose between the two. I think the black looks cool, but the blue adds for that little splash of color. Either way, all in all, you've got four separate options here. As for the weapons, what we've got are these, and these are sick, and I love the fact that there's two. Nothing beats a giant robot dual-wielding pistols. So these right here are referred to beam rifles, rapid fire beam rifles, but these are pistol sized with two barrels and they look great. On top of that, we also have this long barrel which apparently increases the range and accuracy, They still hold like a pistol, but they give you that more old school beam rifle look. Personally, I like the short versions. Of course, like I said, it doesn't come with a whole lot in the box, but the purpose of this is to use it with basically whatever you want. Build custom kits, weapon sets, you name it, you can use it. It's got those 3mm holes on the side skirt, rear skirt, forearms and backpack, which means it is pretty much compatible with any standard or recent Gunpla release, which is awesome. In case you're wondering what this rifle right here is, it's from the high-grade build custom Jim weapons set. Definitely one of the high-grade build custom kits that I highly recommend. So moving straight into the articulation, and we're going to work as usual from the head down. Like I mentioned, this is the same as the Jim, and it's very basic, so that means we should get quite a bit out of this. So there's the head all the way up, all the way down. That can rotate all the way around. We have that side-to-side tilt, and I think we have a second ball joint in there, do we? No, we don't. Oh, we do. So we got that giggity there. Usually inside the torso, we've got a little bit that pops out at the polycap to move the arms forward, but because this is based on the Leopard Da Vinci, it has all of this. So that whole section there pops out. I'll show you that one more time. In and out. The other side, out it comes. So that's pretty cool. It splits the torso. So because of that, you can really bring those arms across the chest. That is awesome. Again, this peg is very visible. Those arms do stick out quite a bit. That does give you some decent articulation, but it does stand out. I recommend painting that. Inside here, this polycap moves up and down like so we do get a decent movement upwards. You can get more than that by rotating it here at the shoulder. The arm there can move within the shoulder, and we've got that full rotation. As for the bend at the elbow, there we go. That is pretty much perfect. Like I mentioned, the hands aren't just your simple ball joint. You've got your ball joint as well as the hinge in the wrist, which gives you a whole lot here. One more gripe I do have with the design here is that they brought this cockpit section here down too low, so it hits off that. So this would have a whole lot more ab crunch if it wasn't for that little bit of a section. So that one little design piece has really screwed it up to the front. So to the front we don't get much at all, and to the back we get quite a bit. So it would be better without that. There it is side to side. That is very nice. If we pull this ball joint up and out, we get a little bit more forward crunch, back crunch, side to side, and of course, as usual, full rotation right there. As for the side skirting armor that can move up ever so slightly, it will end up popping underneath the torso there, so that is a little bit long towards the top. That can rotate all the way around. This is the most basic front skirting armor I've ever seen. Nothing happens on here at all, and you can see right on in there. Around on the back, no premium butt flap here, just your standard stuck-on inflexible butt. Because there isn't really anything in the front or back skirting, and you can flip the side skirting up, I expect a lot from the legs, so there is the kick all the way up. That's pretty good. All the way out to the back. That is a little bit blocked by the butt flap. And as for the splits, yep, we get the full splits. Even though the thigh armor does rise up at the front there, it does not get in the way, so we have the full spin. There is the bend at the knee. Again, that is incredible. And as for the ankle, it is double jointed, so we have a rotating polycap in there, which gives us all of this. Wait, no, this is treble jointed, not double jointed. So we have a ball joint inside of here. That's a ball and a polycap, which will give you some tilt side to side, some forward and back. And that polycap also connects in at these sections here, which gives you an absolutely massive pivot. Look at that right there. Some people don't like these feet. I adore them. These all-terrain, multi-purpose, basic feet is such a breath of fresh air compared to the constant, similar gym or Gundam style feet we see time and time again. That means we do have this nice little bend at the toes. This kind of railing toe, as well as the kind of rail on the knee for protection. It's such an awesome, basic, bare bones sort of armor, and I love it. Looks great. So pretty much besides that one little bit at the torso, all in all, this is pretty much perfect. As you would expect from something so basic though, but all in all, this is a solid little posable monster. There's very few Gunpla I would say you could throw in your pocket or in your bag or something like that, bring it with you just to pose it somewhere fun, and it'll still be all in one piece when you get there and ready to go. And this right here is one of them, and one of very, very few. So that is it for the review, and although I had a couple of minor gripes visually and articulation-wise, they are all that I can say negative about this. The pegs in the shoulder, you should really paint them or they stand out too much, and would have been nice to get a little bit more articulation in the waist, but all in all, this thing is fantastic looking. Because it's a basic color, black and white, it mixes with so much. You can pretty much use anything with it and it won't stand out too badly. All I can say is I love this thing. This is up there for me with the Jim as one of the best grunt suits I've ever laid my hands on. If you're not a huge fan of the Federation style gym grunts, this deviates far enough away to not really look like one. And all in all, I have to say this is a pretty cool kit and a great, no, perfect place to start with a custom. So from me, this right here is getting a gold because Bandai has done simple perfectly this time around. If you want a simple, basic grunt suit, something to play around with, something to pose, something to customize, this is exactly what you want right here. If you want your typical over-the-top Gundam style Gunpla, then this one won't be for you. But this is what it is and does what it is perfectly. But anyway, if you do want one of your own, as usual, there is a link down there in the description. Get yours at HobbyLink Japan. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and as always, I'll see you next time.